What's happening, guys, and welcome to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, or should I say today, Brian's Movie Reviews. I don't usually do a lot of movie reviews. I've done a few across the channel's existence, but I usually do them for the big releases. So today I'm going to be doing a movie review for DC's new Batman movie, The Batman. So guys, as there will be no Culture Cast this week, this is going to be a spoiler review. I didn't want to do a Culture Cast tonight with so many of my viewers who have still not seen the film, and my co-host, of course, Tubbs, hasn't seen the film yet. And I wanted to let it marinate a little bit in my brain before talking about it anyway. So I will just give it a little rundown on my own thoughts on the Batman. I'm going to start with cast. So the casting for the Batman was, on a whole, really good. Robert Pattinson, of course, there's always going to be Twitter outrage, which isn't real outrage, really, when Batman gets cast or recast, or the Joker is cast. Sometimes with good reason, though, Jared Leto, I'm not saying anyone else. But yeah, so Robert Pattinson himself was, on the whole, a fantastic Batman. As it was year two, as it's year two Batman, it's still very hard to gauge how he's going to do as Bruce Wayne. I found the majority of the movie, I would say maybe 70-30%, he is Batman. That's the scale between Batman and Bruce Wayne. And he's an excellent Batman. There's no, where is she, or any of that stuff. He's a very softer spoken Batman, which really works. And overall, also, he's so physical. He actually beats dudes down when he beats dudes down. There is no holding back. For me, I think he's really good. I think he will, though, like when it comes to the second and third movie, I'm just looking ahead a little bit now. I think he will really come into his own. But this was a great start for him as Batman himself. And yeah, I really enjoyed him. And Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, again, fantastic. Absolutely beautiful woman, no doubt about it. And a lot of people will obviously see that from both sexes. She's amazing. I think she really did a good job. Again, I think she needs to grow into the role a bit more as the trilogy goes on. It does suggest, now as I said, spoilers, it does suggest near the end that she's going somewhere else, but I do not think we have seen the end of this Catwoman. She did leave her cats behind, after all. Who does that? The main villain in the movie is played by Paul Dano and is the Riddler. And I'm going to just say what everyone else said. It's very similar to Zodiac with the riddles and the ciphers and the things. It's very similar to that. His character is really good. Like, I've seen some people criticize him, saying he's just a Twitter guy with crazy Twitter followers. That guy was me on a live stream. But no, I was joking. I think he's really good. People who know the classic Riddler might not be happy with him. The look is completely different. But I think it really works in the context of the attitude and just the behavior of the movie and the setting. It's just really dark.
So dark! Do you sure you're not from the DC universe?
I think, though, it works for Batman when it's on his own, how dark it is. But this Riddler is really good. He also reminded me of an early Edward Norton performance in Primal Fear. Yeah, I think he's really good. I probably don't think he's in this. I don't think he's gone from this trilogy either. I would like to see more of him. There is a scene in the prison with Batman where he just continuously says Bruce Wayne, and it's so creepy. There is another scene as well at the end where he has a conversation with another inmate played by Barry Keoghan. And again, this is spoiler territory here. So Barry Keoghan is the Joker. It doesn't show his face, just shows a silhouette. And I'm not... It's a minor thing, and it can be changed because it didn't show his face, but I wasn't enthused by the thoughts of his Joker, or the laugh even wasn't right. I don't know. But anyway, Paul Dano is absolutely amazing in this film. and he definitely deserves some praise for his role. And then we move on to Jim Gordon, who was excellently played by Jeffrey Wright, who was just solid. Again, it's another character. Someone said something that struck me there the other day on Twitter, in that the Riddler is the only character who is exactly who he is. I think a lot of the rest of the cast and the characters still haven't found themselves in this movie, and I think that's because of the early setting in year 2. So Jim Gordon is working a lot with Batman in this movie, like they're like a tag team detective, but again, he's like very naive and doesn't notice all the corruptness around him until Batman opens his eyes to him. But Jim Gordon, or Jeffrey Wright, does a great job in portraying that, and I think he's been excellent in everything I've seen him in Westworld, What If, loads of other things. And yeah, I think he's great. He's only going to get better. Again, you had Andy Serkis as the butler, proving that you should never open anyone's mail, because he got nearly done in by one of the Riddler's traps. And yeah, he's done a really good job of kind of grounding Bruce a little bit and kind of really showing him who his family is after his family is gone, and kind of making him responsible for his family name. Again, I think that will come a lot into it in future films. But yeah, it's a really, really good film, guys. I wanted to talk about 2 more castings. The 2 gang bosses. They're polar opposites for me. The minute I saw John Turturro, he plays Carmine Falcone, the main gang boss of Gotham City. And as good as he is, I just could not take him seriously, because he's had so many comic roles. Even the guy he was in Transformers Sector 7 or whatever it was. My one memory of him is Bumblebee pissing down on top of him, and he was Mr. Deeds' butler in Mr. Deeds. Yeah, like he was good in this movie, but this is just a me thought. It was just always in the back of my head, those silly roles that he's done before. And Colin Farrell, a fellow Irishman, an actor who I've never been wholly sold on, but he's been great in Irish films. I suppose a lot like Barry Keoghan. I've never been sold on him as an international actor in American blockbusters and stuff. But boy, howdy did he do. He do an amazing job as the Penguin, I don't know how to say it. But the makeup, first off, if you didn't tell someone who he was before they saw it, they would not know. They would not know. He's very much De Niro, Raging Bull in this, and he looks great. He acts great. His character is funny. He's a source of levity. He brings such funny moments to the film. There's a part where Batman and Gordon tie his hands and legs up after a car chase, and they just leave him there, and as he's trying to get away, he's like waddling like a penguin. But I thought he was phenomenal. He was the sleeper star of the film for me. But again, on a whole, like the tech, again, is very in its infancy. There's parts where Bruce Wayne goes to like dive off a rooftop and absolutely ruins himself and buckles himself off the ground. And there's a part where the Batmobile shows up and it's like, whoa, and then it conks out. So you can very see this is a very early Batman, and he makes lots of mistakes, and he isn't fully formed yet. But it is a really, really good film. 3 hours runtime. It's too long. I think a half an hour could have easily been shaved off of it. There is a part where the Riddler gets captured and is put into jail, and you think, oh, that's it. And then there's another half an hour where they have a big CGI city ruining event, and it's all very unnecessary. Now, it does build Batman's credence as to seeing what he has to become. He can't be just vengeance anymore. He has to be hope, because you see him and he's helping people out of the flood and stuff. So basically, like their main stadium explodes and there's like water floods in everywhere. And yeah, it's a cool visual, but it was a half an hour too long for me. And I did notice a lot of other people were checking their phones and stuff. Not mostly my other half, who was checking her phone after 2 hours. But yeah, overall, like, if I was to give it a rating out of 10, I would give it an 8. I gave it an 8 on the live stream I was on recently. And I think it's a great film. I wouldn't rank it as the best Batman film. I'd probably rank it below The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, and probably Batman 89 as well. But I do think there is huge potential in this film. There's huge potential in this franchise for this particular set of actors. What happens in the future, I don't know. I don't want to see this Barry Keoghan Joker, that's for sure. I'd love to see like Mr. Freeze or something along that lines. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, but something else. But guys, what did you think of the Batman? Was it perfect? No. Hell no. Did Pattinson nail the role for you? He did for me. And yeah, so I'd like to hear your thoughts, guys, and I'd love to know what you thought of my review as well. So leave a comment, drop a like, hit the notification bell, stay notified, and we'll see you later, guys. Have a great day. Bye.